Hey, I think we're live. This is Miss with Being Creative with Miss, and tonight we are going to do, we're going to start. This is night one. Tomorrow night we'll finish it up, but tonight we'll do some of the basics to get everything ready, and we will create a really cool, like hot cocoa mug. And we're going to use resin. Resin is not scary. I had never used it before until October when I decided I was going to try this, and I just had a blast making them for my show. So, hey, Ange and Colleen and Laura. So I'm glad you're here. I think this is different than what we usually do because usually we there, I was trying to get comments. Usually we're painting, so we're going to paint a little bit, but not really, not like major. So anyway, hey Tracy. Yeah, Tracy said spread the honey. Don't forget to spread the honey. So I have Mark do it for me all the time, and then I do it as well. I love to kind of scurry in the like thrift stores or in the summer it can be garage sales. I don't go to that many anymore. I used to when I was younger, but I don't now. That we have a restore in town, so it's fun to find mugs that you want to use for this. So I had some really neat ones for my show, and they were just so fun to do. And I tried to do some that were just not real Christmassy, but like hot cocoa that you can leave out for like January, February when you take down your Christmas. So it's kind of fun to still have a little tray displayed. I love to do faux cookies. I did the like the cookies and milk for my show. This is like not one of the normal ones, but I love to do like the cookies and stuff. On my page last year, I showed how I made my own molds with silicone, and I wanted a Hershey bar, and if you can see, I used a Hershey bar in that, and that's just made out of the foam clay, and I made my own mold out of silicone. The molds are pretty expensive. I have bought a few before I started making my own. I've not taken any classes. I've got a hair or something on my face. I've not taken any classes. I just like doing it. Like when my mom had her wreck back when Ben was probably like 4. So it was a long time ago, like probably 28, 30 years ago. When she was in a wheelchair because she had broke her hip, shoulder, leg, or ankle, and my aunt came to stay and help, my Aunt Shirley. And I don't know if she remembers this, but we like for her to be able, she was like super active. So she had this dough book, and we made all this fake like bread and pies, and Mom would sit and roll all the berries, and like it was so fun, and I loved it. So we've always kind of dabbled in it, but this is a whole different ballgame. But anyway, you can find all kinds of different mugs. This one is definitely Christmas, and I did it kind of milk, hot cocoa, milk kind of Santa. That's why I did it like that. But I love the ones I did for the show that I absolutely loved had a snowman in them, and I'll show you how to make those tonight. And they're just little marshmallow snowmen. And then when we put the whipped topping, spackling, he'll lay right on top of that, and it's just super cute. So you saw the pictures of those on my lives, I'm sure. So anyway, there's Miss Megan. Hello, Megan. Now, if you don't want to use a mug, you can also use, like I bought a pack of these. Well, I actually bought a couple different kinds at TJ Maxx or Home Goods, and it was like $4.99 for a stack of, I can't remember if there's 10 or 20 in them. And they had the coffee lid, but of course I just discarded that. So you can use it plain, or you can make your own sleeve, or use the sleeve that comes with it. This one had a vintage Santa sleeve, and I don't have it up here. I don't know what happened to it. But I did want to show you the cup, because if you want to do some like this, I just poured plaster in the bottom. I don't know if you can tell that. I poured plaster in the bottom of them so they would be weighted and not tip over, and it worked really well. And I just proceeded after the plaster this with the paper towel roll and stuff in it, just like we do the regular mugs. But that's how you can do it. So I want to get started so I can show you. I've showed my page this before to a point. But I'll show you how to get I was going to say a top, but a platform for us to be able to put our resin on. So that's what we're going to work on, and we're going to make the snowman tonight. And then tomorrow night we'll actually do the resin and do the whipped topping and all that, all the fun stuff. So I use lots of different toppings, or not toppings, embellishments. So be on the lookout. Like, I know Hobby Lobby has, I think, gone 70% off now. Closer we get to Christmas, and after Christmas, you're going to see a lot of things marked down. So think outside of the box, because this is an ornament. These were in a pack from Hobby Lobby. They're just like a plastic, or yeah, kind of plasticky. They're kind of squishy, but they're really pretty and glittery. I just take the string off. I use them in so many, you can see it in that mug. Like, you can see it from the back there. It's just, you just plop it down in the whipped topping. So, like, be on the lookout for stuff like that. These were also at Hobby Lobby in a big bunch. There was a whole bunch of them on there, and I've used them, so I don't remember how many was on there. But just take them off, and it's a perfect peppermint, and just put this side where you would hang it down when you squish it down in the whipped toppings. So these kind of things are great. You can also make your own out of clay, but these are kind of the same thing. You can, if you want to do Valentine's Day, when you could use cherries on top. I make my own clay sprinkles. I bought a lot at first, but they're kind of expensive. You get a little teeny bag, and the shipping, I mean, it might be $2 or $3, then shipping's like $3. So I got a clay extruder, and I make my own. It's super easy. You just use oven baked clay, and you can make a ton for like a fraction. I'm like, it's so cheap. But this is like a hot cocoa mix that I bought one time. And you can buy all kinds of stuff like this. So I've molded, I've used Model Magic and used cookie cutters to cut out shapes. Like, this is a gingerbread man that I used in a gingerbread cup. This is Hershey, like a Hershey, like the mold I showed you that I used. And this is it painted. And sometimes I use the whole thing. Sometimes I just break them into pieces and just use sections. I also have another mold I did that is a smaller one. A fun size Hershey, so you can do that. And then I've molded a graham cracker. So if I'm doing online last year, Megan and I did them. And Megan did a s'more mug. And it is adorable. And she used the graham crackers and stuff. So there's so many things you can do. You just kind of have to use your imagination, look for stuff that you can stick in there, like baked peppermint or fruit, whatever you want to do. So let me move these out of the way, and I will show you some mugs. This is the mug I'm going to work on tonight. I just saved my toilet paper rolls before my show, or paper towel rolls. Paper towel rolls are handy for these taller cups, and you just mark it and cut it off. But most of the time, a paper towel roll, toilet paper roll, will be fine. It will be tall enough. So here's a couple cups that I have. This one's pretty plain. It's not a big deal, but I think it will be really pretty embellished with like just red things and look really just like a winter good hot cocoa mug to leave out throughout the winter. And that's something else too. I pick up packs of straws. When you see those, pick them up, because you'll start seeing those marked down. Like, they'll have green ones or polka dot ones. I've several. So these are just straight. But you don't have to use straws. And always remember, this is how I do it. I just had a lot of people ask me about it. I didn't charge for the tutorial or anything. I'm just doing it just for information. If you want to make it, fine. But take what works for you or what you like and discard the rest. Like I said, I'm not like some professional with this. This cup I would probably not normally get, but I thought it would be perfect to do a s'more cup in, like with the graham cracker and actually the Hershey, a piece of Hershey. So I thought that would be really fun when it gets done. And like this, I left the stickers on them. Mark found me this one not too long ago because I said, hey, I need some more mugs. I used them all for my craft show. And so he was looking for something. That was a quarter. So, I sold my mugs at the craft show depending on what they were in, but they went as high as $22.95. They were just really, really fun to do. This one, green is not my favorite color, but this is a really nice pottery mug, and it feels really nice. It's kind of flat bisque underneath there. And then I thought, what a perfect winter hot cocoa mug. That one was 50 cents. So I have to peel all those stickers off. This is just plain. It was 50 cents too. It is super plain, just white snowflakes, but I think it'll be pretty done, you know, like with some peppermint stuff. So that's just kind of what I'm working on, and I'm going to do this one tonight. So I've showed this on my page before when we just did whipped hot cocoa mugs. But you'll want to turn, like, you want to get some foam board. You can get it at the Dollar Tree, you can get it at Dollar General, Hobby Lobby. I'm burning up. You can get it, you know, anywhere, but you need a piece of foam board, and we will draw around the top of our mug, and then we'll cut it. And you'll need to save, you know, like toilet paper or paper towel, your inner roll. I am going to get together, I have it sorted together, but not completely ready. But I'm going to put, like, make a supply list, and with some suggestions of where I got it or whatever, or where you can find it. And I will probably email that, because I was trying to think what would be the best way to do it. So I'll probably email it out, so that you will have it. So so that you can get it. So if you're on my email list, you can get that, and if you're not, you can sign up for it. But let me think. Okay, so I just traced, like I said, I put it down and traced it. Of course, that's going to be too big. So in my mind, I just kind of gauge bringing it in a little bit. But you can also, just with your pen, come in a little bit too. Just, I got my thumb in paint while ago, and I got it all over me. So just like with my pen, I can come in a little bit like you're going to come in, almost like you're drawing the lip of your cup. But I just kind of gauge it. I don't draw it usually. I just take my scissors and start cutting and hope for the best. And usually it's fine. And if it's not, then I just do it again. But most of the time, it's fine. And after you do a couple, you just kind of, get the hang of how much you need to come in. So when I did them for my show, and I think if you're going to batch do them, you know, I think the best thing to do is get all your cups ready, like cut your tops and everything, and then have all your accessory pieces laid out and ready that you want to do. So then when you do your resin, everything's ready, and you can just kind of do them all at the same time and knock out a bunch at one time. I forget how many I took to my show, but pretty fun. I've never used resin, and it's kind of pricey. It can be pricey, but I ended up getting it at Mindfuls, and I had a coupon, and it wasn't bad at all. It was, I thought, relatively easy. I made the milk bottles and then the hot cocoa things with it. Okay, so I cut it out, and you can see, then I just lay it on top, and you can see that it's still too big. So you can kind of lay it on there again. I'm kind of fitting it on this side and see how much I have overlap. So I'm going to take my pen and kind of go around there so I kind of get an idea of an overhang. And then I just keep cutting, and this takes a little bit more time than I like to fool with, but it takes just a little bit because you want it to fit right. So you can still see on this end, wait a minute, I'm trying to hold it like this end, it is too big. So it's kind of fitted in one side, so I'm just going to take my pen, and when I get to this stage, I do use a pen, and I just keep kind of going back around and fiddling with it until I feel like it's going to fit down in there well. But I don't try to take big hacks at a time because I don't want to mess it up. But see how I'm putting it on one side and then it's left over. Michelle, when I do the supply list and email it out to you, I will put suggested places and places where I got it, and I'll put links if I have them, or stores of where I got it. My plaster, though, it was just DAP plaster, and you can get it at Lowe's, or you can get it in little cartons, or you can get it in big cartons. I don't know, like if Dollar Tree and stuff has. I don't really go there that much. I don't know if they would have it or not. Someone else on here might. Peggy, the graham cracker, I made the mold just out of silicone. And that's what I said. I showed that video last year on my page. We kind of dabbled in them last year because I just want to do it. But this is the mold that I made it out of. And I just used cornstarch and silicone. And then I just used a graham cracker and put it in there. So anyway, it's just air dry clay is the graham crackers. That's what I use for all my stuff. And I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so I'm getting kind of closer. I still have a little bit of a lip here. So I'm just going to take again and shave a little bit off. And I know this part takes time, but it's important because you want to get a good fit. You don't want it to crash through, and you don't want it to be too high. So we're almost there, yay. So I'm almost there. I just want it to fit a little bit further down in there, but it's just partner there. Okay. So you just keep seeing what's hanging up. Like if you just see a little bit over here, a little bit over there, then you just kind of go and trim it off a tad. So now I've got just a little bit here, and then I think we've got it. I think. Yay, we do. So I don't want it way down in my cup, but I want it down enough. Can you see how I have a lip? Well, you can't see when I keep moving it. I'll show you after I get it glued in. Because you want to use as the least amount of resin that you can use, because you can mix up a little bit and it go a long way. And that's kind of get more bang for your buck. Okay, so I put my toilet paper or paper towel roll down in my cup, and I just kind of come down in it a little bit, mark it, and then cut it. So I've already done this one. I just marked it with a pen, and then I kind of gauge where I want it, and you can keep trimming it down if it's too high. But that's going to help support this so it doesn't, the weight of what's on top of it does not crash. So what I do is I take my glue gun, and I just have Gorilla glue sticks in it. I'm just going to kind of put it in their eye where that just pretty much goes. I was going to try to hold it up, but I can't do that. So I just kind of put it in a circle like that, and then just stick that down in there and let it secure, and then it stays. But as a precaution, and you probably don't need to do this, but I usually like take foil and tear off, I hate to make a noise, but like tear off a piece. I just got some cheap foil, and like I would fold it up and kind of put it around, like to make like I just tried to fill that up. Like I rolled foil balls or some. The other thing I did in some of my cups was I just used packing peanuts because I had them. So that way I just kind of filled it up, and that kind of made it more solid underneath. So if that glue would break loose, it really couldn't shift around and cause my top to fall. Again, I don't know if that is absolutely necessary. I don't know, but that's just something that I did. So you can use foil pieces, you know, anything. I think in one of mine I wadded up. I had some paper towels, and I just kind of wadded those up and stuck them in there. Just anything that kind of made there be something underneath. So that's going to be good enough. So then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put it in there, make sure it's really fitting good, like that. It just has a little lip. You can kind of see how much of a lip it has. Can you see that? Like over here, over here. You can see that lip. And if you're doing a lot, I'm sorry, I am so hot. If you're doing like a lot at one time, like today, I took all the mugs that I showed you at the beginning, I traced all the tops and then started working on them. After I traced my circle, I wrote on them like red snowflake, which you probably can't read my writing. But if you're doing a bunch at a time, that I thought was helpful. Like I would write green mug, red snowflake mug, Hershey mug. So when I cut them out, I knew kind of, you know, which one that went where. So now we're going to seal this because we don't want the resin to leak down. So what I did is just took my, I love this glue gun. It is Arrow, but it's got a little tiny precision tip. And I'm just going to go around there and just make a bead. Almost like I'm caulking it, but I'm using glue gun. And that seals all of that area. Hold on. I'm out of glue stick. I have one laying here. It just kind of seals all that. It provides two things. It makes the foam thing stay in place, but it also creates a barrier that won't let liquid drip down in it. So I don't know. It worked really well for me. That's and like I said, some of you might do this all the time and might have a better idea. I don't know. But that's how I do it. So I just kind of hold it a minute and make sure that it sets a minute so it doesn't pop back up. So I will hop back over here. Look over here and see any questions. Beth said, what is a good color for graham cracker? Let me see if I have my, I don't know if I have it up here. I'll have to look at my paints. I had it out and I can tell you. I'll tell you tomorrow. Remind me or message me if I don't say it, but I'll probably say it tomorrow. Anyway. So now that is all secure and dry, and we have enough of a lip there that'll hold the resin when we put it in. So this one, you know, comes right to the top. This one is a little bit sunk in, just a tad, if you can see that. So, but anyway, so that is all ready for resin tomorrow. So let's make some marshmallow snowman. I just love the snowman in it. It's just, I just think everyone loves snowman. I think, not everyone, but a lot of people love snowman. So I think he just made it really cute to plop in the middle. I mean, I just thought it was so cute. And I wish I had one, but I sold them all and I didn't make another snowman one. But this is what you're going to use. Of course, this package is going to look different than if you buy it in the store because I bought it in the big case. Let me show you. I use it for supplies, but mine came like this with a whole bunch of them in it. So it's like 2 pounds and it has 4 of these bags in it. So sometimes on Amazon they have them super cheap. I've also gotten them at Michael's with a coupon, but Michael's has the individual bags too, and they're smaller, and they're, I think, like $4.99, I think. But this is just white, and you just want to massage it a little bit before you start. I've already worked this when I was doing it before I came live. But that's how we're going to make some marshmallows, and then I'll show you what we're going to use for the sticks and the arms. So, I've already wiped this off, but now I think I have some stuff from where I was cutting. This silicone mat is great for glue gunning and painting and all that because it just wipes off. It's also really good for silicone for air dry clay and stuff because it doesn't stick to it. So it's really a really good surface to work on. Except now I need to probably dry it off. Where my paper towel? But it is a good surface. Okay, so you're just going to take it after you've worked it a little bit. You're just going to roll it. I just put it down. I wish you can get these silicone mats in different colors, and I just got kind of like a clearish one. It's kind of a milky clear. And when I was sitting here working my Model Magic before I went live, I thought, I probably should have picked a different color mat. You can't even see this hardly on my mat. They blend in. But I'm going to kind of roll it out. This is what the snowmen look like. And I had different sizes. Some of them had 3 marshmallows. And kind of keep in mind, like, this cup has a way bigger mouth than this cup. So you can see that they're different. And let me put them like that. So like this surface area, you could probably do a three marshmallow snowman. And then some of the smaller ones you can do smaller. So I did them both ways for my show, but they're just really, really fun to make, but they're really easy to make. So we're just gonna roll out a piece, and then I think that's about right. You can make them fatter, skinnier, whatever. That is up to you and your preference. So I'm just rolling that out, and you can take your scissors or a knife or whatever. I'm just going to clip a piece off. And I'm going to do them relatively the same size. Try to, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So now you have this piece with these clipped ends. But you're just going to roll it a little bit more, and then take your fingers and kind of squish it down. And then it begins to take on more of a marshmallow shape. See? I don't know if you can see good. So it's more like, I'll set it back down the table and kind of tap it a little bit. And the edges are kind of, take your finger and it makes them kind of round. And if you get it too squatty, just kind of roll it a bit and make it roll back out. So then it looks like a marshmallow. So we'll put that aside, and now we'll do another one. So we'll do this one, a little two-man. Not a two-man, 2 marshmallow snowman. Not real big, so we can use it on a smaller cup. Okay? So the neat thing about this is, the neat thing or aggravating thing when you're working in it, is it will stick together. So when you put it together, they kind of will stick. So we're going to use one as the head and one as the body. Now what I did is I put a little bit of a crook in mine. So I kind of bent it a little bit, and then if you have to reshape it a little bit, you can. So while it's still wet, or not wet, but dry and formable, you kind of want to do that. Because I want it to look like, when I plop him in the whipped topping, that he's laying in it. So it's kind of like he's got a little bit of a bend to it. I wish I had a good way to show you that. Everything I have is white. I keep looking for something that isn't white. But anyway, so he's got a little crook. So let's make another one. Let's do, I was going to say we could make a littler one, but hang on a minute. I'm going to fix this guy. I think I squished him together too much. Well, I'll come back to him. So again, you just roll it out to about the size, same diameter down through there, and then just clip some pieces off. You can make his head a little bit shorter in length if you want, but you just do the same thing. Just kind of tap it and kind of round out some of your edges and kind of squish it together, and then it looks more like a marshmallow. And you can make little ones, like you do the little ones the same way as the big ones, and see, that will be miniature marshmallows. And like I sunk them in the resin. Can you see that? So I used them in this one too. So if I was you, I mean, what I usually do is when I'm making my snowman, I make little marshmallows as well, and they can dry, and you can use them in there too. So this is going to be our head, and this is going to be our body, and I'm going to do the body part just a little bit longer this time instead of making them equal. And then I'm just going to lay him down and kind of squish him like that. And then we'll add his arms and legs in just a minute. But it sticks together. As soon as you stick them together, they stick. So, kind of nifty. My fingernail just made a mark in it, so you kind of have to be careful about that. But if it does, you just roll it and tap on it until you get it back to how you want it. That's the nice thing, is right now it's still pretty formable, so you just form it. I usually have a tray with, I put parchment paper on it, and then I just let them air dry for several days. But that's how you make snowman. You can make, this is a little bit bigger miniature marshmallow, but you can make any size of the marshmallows that you want, and they look really nice in with it. And we'll put some chocolate sauce on there tomorrow as well. You can see it in there. You can't see it a bunch, but you can see it. And it just looks really nice. So for this big mug, I can use a three marshmallow snowman. So I'm going to make it a little bit fatter. I'm kind of squishing it in because I want it to be a little wider in the diameter of it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it. And then I'm going to kind of squish that in. And these are going to be a bigger marshmallow because that bigger mouse cup can support a, not support weight wise, but can handle a bigger snowman marshmallow because it has the room to, where the other ones are kind of more narrow. All right. Does the resin shrink? Nope. Mine did not shrink at all. Nope, it didn't. I just put it in there, and it dries really quick. Like, I sunk some marshmallows and stuff, but it really did set up quicker than actually I guess I thought it would. But it was really fun to work in. It's kind of like a science. I mean, it's, you know, it has to be equal parts. And Monica, is there any reason why I don't use baked clay because they're kind of heavy. A baked clay item next to a foam dry item, it's way heavier. I have some oven clay baked things that I've used in my molds, and they're just a lot heavier. They're just a lot heavier. You can use what you want. I just choose to do this. I just think you can form it and work with it, and I just like how it looks, and I like how I can, you know, really squish it and make it to what I want. But you can always try whatever you want. You may like oven dry better. For these, I just prefer the air dry clay. I use a ton of it in bake stuff. I make all kinds of cookies, and I made Pop-Tarts for my show. I mean, I did all kinds of stuff like that. It's just really fun. So I'm going to stick him together real quick so we can move on. I think I have, I was thinking I had his body part, because one of his body parts too long. Okay, so I'm going to kind of put him like that and kind of squish him together a little bit, but he will be our three guy. But it's hard to tell what they look like until you put arms and a nose on them. So what I used for arms and noses, I couldn't figure out. I was going to make air dry noses because I do air dry noses for fabric snowmen and stuff out of the oven clay. I use that and just make noses and dry them in the oven with a shank on them. So that was my initial thought that I would do. And then I'm like, that is way harder to do all the oven stuff. So I went down the basement because I have tons of these in every size. I have them fatter and skinnier, and I bought them over the years. Anytime they were marked down or anytime I saw them, just bamboo skewers. And my mom and I always used these for noses in like littler fabric snowmen and stuff like that. So we would just cut them. So these are bigger ones, but what is ideal for this is the real skinny ones. So that's what I used, and it worked out perfect, I thought. So See, they're real pointy on one end. See how they're pointy? And then the other ends are just... So what I did was just held up yay many, however many you think you need. And I put some paint out. You can use burnt orange. This is burnt orange. For the sticks, burnt umber. I like cinnamon stick for the noses because it's a lot browner. But anyway, any kind of brown or orange, whatever shade you prefer. And then just get a couple makeup sponges. And I just held them with the little spaces. And then just kind of got in my paint. And just quickly kind of got all sides of it. And painted orange. And then I'm just going to use some wire cutters to clip them off. And then we will have 4 noses. I don't think I have my heat gun plugged in. Yes, I do. I didn't think I did. I'm always diving off the table. So I'm going to dry these real quick just so we can move on. So do you need to wear special safety equipment? I don't know. I didn't. I don't know. I didn't at all. I mean, I don't know what I could have done. Maybe gloves, maybe rubber gloves, but I didn't. As messy as I am, I didn't even get it on me, which is amazing. But I don't know. I don't know about it. But I did not, and I used it. I think I went through two or three boxes of it, doing my milk jars and my coffee mugs, because the milk jars took a lot. The hot cocoa mugs did not as much. Okay, so on the other end, we have all this excess. That's going to be our arms. So I'm just going to use the brown paint and do a bigger section of it. And then we'll clip those off, and that will be our arms. And it just works out perfect, or at least I thought it did. I'm sure there's a million other ways you can do it. This is just how I did it. So I was thinking about that nose and rolling those little tiny noses and all that, and I thought, we use noses all the time. Sticks, that should work, and I thought it worked fine. So, anyway. So, I was trying to see while I do this if there's any other comments over here, and there, I've got to tap it to get them. There we go. I'm way down on comments, sorry. Okay, yeah, Model Magic is the Crayola Model Magic Air Dry Clay is what I use for the marshmallows. So, this will probably generally just take one coat, but you can give it another one if you want, but I think it looks fine. It covered pretty good. So now we'll just snip it off with our pliers, and it will be good to go. So now we have the orange on one end and the brown on the other. So let me set that aside and clean up all my mess. And we will get them poked into our snowman because we don't want them to get too dry or we can't get them in there. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little pair of wire cutters and I'm going to snip off the end, and I want to leave enough that I can poke in there, but I'm going to cut it off and it'll kind of splinter it. Well, that one is splintered a lot. Sometimes it'll splinter it a little bit or make it, well, that must be the pliers because I've splintered the second one. And I do this all the time for snowman, all fabric snowman. Okay, there we go. So there, let's clip it a little bit closer. So this is my 3 snowman one. So I'm just going to take it right where I want his face and poke that in there and kind of twist it around so it pokes down in his nose. His head's crooked. I need to fix him. Okay, so now I'm going to come to the other end of that stick and cut some arms. Once again, you need them a little bit longer than you want, so you have room to poke them into the clay. So now you can dab the ends of those when we get it in if you want, if you don't want them to show. So I kind of shoved it in kind of at an angle and down. And if you want to cut more off, like if you think it looks too long, you can always go back and trim them. So I'm going to poke this one in kind of at an angle too. And then you can, if you squishy mini, you can reshape it a little bit. He's still pliable, but he'll start to get, I was going to say a crust on him, but that probably doesn't sound right. But he will start to get more set up. So then I'm going to kind of fold him a little bit because I want him to lay in that whipped topping like that. So let me see if I can you tell better like that? So, and then I just let him dry. I've still got his head a little bit funny. Now, I let mine dry before I put my eyes on it. I don't know that it matters. I don't know if you have to, but I don't notice it with Crayola Model Magic a lot, but sometimes they shrink a little bit as they dry, but I don't notice it with this. Now, I had another kind that I got off of Etsy that was super easy to work with, but it shrunk so much. It was super lightweight and really nice to work with, like easy. You didn't have to knead it and stuff, but it would shrink like probably 30%. So, but I haven't noticed it with this, but I have to throw on a pair of glasses, which I don't like to do that, but I cannot, I have a bum eye and I can't see that great, especially by nighttime. So I'm just going to, you can take the end of a toothpick or any kind of little dotter. You can take a little tiny end of a brush or anything, but I like to use just a dotting tool, but I can't find my, there it is. It's like a really little one. I'm just going to go in the black and just go right over his eyes. And I'm just going to make right over his nose. I said eye. And just make his eyes. I'll turn it around so you can see it in a minute. And then I also got a bigger dotting tool and did buttons down the front. So that's what I did. So I think he's really cute. And then when that dries, I will put a white glint in his eyes, but I'll have to wait till that dries. So anyway, but that's all I did. Like this one's really little. I made them all different sizes, and this one's bigger. So when I lay him back down on the parchment paper on my sheet, I'll bend him up again. And if you need to put something underneath him, like a little wad of paper towel or foil or whatever, to kind of keep him kind of like that, like curved a little bit, you can do that. So anyway, that's how you make the snowman. I'll see if I can dry his eyes real quick so I can dot him, because it looks so much better dotted. But that's how you make them, and they're just really fun. Even if you don't use a coffee mug, if you just want to make fake s'mores, you know, I did that with the Hershey and did a couple grams and then made a big, you know, rolled a bigger piece and smashed it down for the marshmallow. But it's just fun to, pretty fun to play in. So, I'll put my silly glasses back on again and get a little bit of white. And we'll put a little glint in his eyes and then he'll look better. Almost put it in the black, for Pete's sake. So I'm just going to roll that out. And I'm just going to put a little dot. Maybe. I think I didn't have enough on there. Well, so much for little. It was bigger than I wanted. But anyway, there. So that's our little snowman. So he will dry. and he won't dry completely by tomorrow night, but he will be, I'll be able to push him in. He should be good. So that is what we'll do tomorrow night. We'll put our resin, we'll mix our resin. I'll do the chocolate sauce and do the spackling. The spackling, I just use an icing tip in a bag. I use big icing tips. I won't use this big, but I have some big ones, but they're a little smaller than this. I use real cocoa and just sprinkle it on. But we'll sink the marshmallows and stuff in there, and we'll add, I'll probably use some chocolate chips and Hershey bar pieces, and we'll do all the fun part, poke some straws in there and all that. But this big one's going to look really cute with that great big snowman. And then like these littler ones, like if you wanted to use the peppermint and, you know, other stuff in there, then you kind of sink it all in, and it's just super cute. And then that spackling will hold all that into place. So this one, you know, I sunk the peppermint and the Hershey, and that's a bigger marshmallow. I just did like kind of a medium-sized one, and then some chocolate chips, and then little ones. So they're really fun. Once you do one, they're kind of to me they were kind of addicting, because there's so many different things you can do on them, and so many different mugs, and just really cute, just really fun and cute. But if you wanted to sell them, of course, the cheaper you can get the mug for, the more money you make off of them. So, but I love buffalo check. I think this will be a fun one to leave out, like on a tray, and that'll be really fun. But I don't sell the graham cracker molds or the Hershey molds. I just made my own, and I don't sell them. But you can go back and find my video. I will try to find it and repost it where I made, I think it's partway through, because I think we did other things in that video too, but where I show you how to use the cornstarch and silicone to make it. An Etsy shop that you can check out, it's called Annie's Treasures. She has a lot of embellishments, like fake sprinkles, because all these are clay, because you don't want anything edible like that. You know, you want it to be able to go for the long haul without any critters or anything eating it or anything. But like I said, I've made a big part of mine with the clay extruder, and the clay extruders are like $13 or $14, and then you just buy any colors you want like that. And I think I showed that too, but I know the clay extruders in my Amazon store, because the one I bought at Michael's was horrible. Like, you couldn't even hardly turn it. It was awful. And the one at Amazon is so much better. And I know Beck Letty has made her own. But by the time I would buy like 2 little things of sprinkles and then shipping, like, I would have $15 in it. And that's like way expensive. And yeah, it takes a long time to use them up. So it's really expensive when you buy in this, especially if you get them on sale for like $1.50 or $2. And this, you can make tons and tons and tons and tons of sprinkles and stuff. You can make all kinds of stuff. So, but I'll quit blabbering. So I guess if you just want to do a basic mug, you can just do your marshmallow snowman, some little miniature marshmallows, your Hershey syrup, and some cocoa powder. That's the only thing that's like real that we use. Like, you can see where I just sprinkled it on. You can see the little sprinkle. The rest of it, as far as the candy, graham crackers, cookies, all that, they're just molds that I had. But you can do it definitely without those. Like, if you get any kind of peppermint things, your straws, and your marshmallows, like, you'll have plenty in it without, you know, with your marshmallow, with your snowman in the middle. Like, you don't want so much going on that you I don't know, like, it looks too busy. So you don't want that. Beth said, your mold video is a great tutorial. Yeah, I have to find it and pin it, because that would be helpful. Yeah, Carol said she bought the extruder too to make stuff. You can find all kinds of silicone molds. and mold all kinds of stuff in. We did candy pieces last year and stuff like that out of the Model Magic. You can do so much with it. That's why I buy the big things. I end up using it like crazy. You can roll it out just like cookie dough, and I need to grab those. I'll try to get those. They're downstairs. I'll try to show you my baked cookies. But you can roll it out just like dough and cut it with a cookie cutter, let it dry, and then I paint them like a cookie dough color, and then kind of brown the edges with a sponge and brown paint, and then just use the spackling as icing and sprinkles. They're just so cute. But there's a lot of mugs that you can do and plunk a cookie, like you can do a cookie. Like I did some gingerbread ones at my show and just had the gingerbread in there. So you can just do so much. I mean, if you really enjoy it, you can do so much. But I just wanted to share it with you, and I will say that again. This is not like, it's not like, this is not, I don't know I'm not like a professional at this, or I'm not like really good at this. This is just what I did. I just wanted to do it, so I was just trying to figure it out. Before my show, I guess I paint and do all that, and I love to do other stuff too. Like I like to do the stuff that I don't normally do, so I just think it's fun. So we did that last year. About this time, we did like sweet treats and Santa cookies, and we did like I molded an Oreo. I don't have one of those up here, but I'll get those out to show you tomorrow. But all that stuff is just extra stuff. If you really want to dive into that later, or that's something you're interested in, then you can kind of take it up a notch. But you'll see tomorrow, just with the snowman and the few things we work with. Some of them will be fancier, some of them will be plainer, but still just have an awesome effect. And it's a fun conversation piece. Like the people that would come by our booth and stuff would say, "Oh, that's so cool," and that's really neat. And some people make mug toppers where you can just set it on there and take it off and stuff like that. But I just like it all attached and permanent. And with the resin one, you kind of have to do that. But the whip topping ones, you can take them off. But I make all of mine permanent. I just think I try to kind of coordinate whatever mug and stuff like that. Like I have a mitten cookie down in my stash that I have out, like would be really cute in that. Like if I do the mitten cookie, like an ice sugar cookie, and kind of dunk it in, kind of like. So you just have to kind of just just use your imagination, and kind of you can go with a theme. Like this one's going to be fun. I'll do it definitely s'mores because it's s'mores. And like I said, this is not like typically the kind of mug I would go after, but anyway. So, and I really tried to steer, like there's some great Christmas ones, but I really tried to steer towards plain so we could just do hot cocoa winter mugs. So that's why I kind of went that route. So, oh, you're welcome, Joe. I will tomorrow. I know tomorrow night isn't near as fun. I mean, tonight wasn't near as fun. Tomorrow night will be more fun because you kind of get to see it come together, and it's just really neat. So, but I thought I'd break it into 2 nights because I didn't want you to be like, oh my word, this is so long. So we kind of break it up. So tomorrow we'll do the resin, and then we'll do the whip topping and embellishing, and see how they turn out. But I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you try it if you want to. The spackling, I mean, you can get little things of it, and someone told me that you can get those at the Dollar Tree. I don't know. Beth is the one that said the paint, is it paint and patch? I can't remember what it's called, but it's from Home Depot. Game changer. Like you don't have to add paint to it. It pipes beautifully. It is the best consistency, and I have had just the best results. Like it's not worth the frustration to me. The other ones will clog and they don't flow good, and if you put too much paint, they kind of droop. I don't know. So, but I'll tell you all the things, show you all the things we do tomorrow. But I'll just use an icing bag and a icing tip, and that's how we'll do that. And we'll just make it all really pretty, and they come together pretty fast once you get the resin in there. So anyway, thanks for joining me, and tomorrow night we'll do the fun stuff and let these little guys dry. So the snowmen are just so fun, and each one of my snowmen, it was funny, they all kind of looked different even though they were the same. So Anyway, all right, well, I'll let you go, and I'll see you tomorrow night at 8, so don't forget.